Welcome back. We're about 45 minutes away from the July jobs report. Economists are expecting 223,000 jobs to have been added to the economy last month, and the unemployment rate to edge up to 5.3%. We are looking at where the job growth is in this country. Joining us right now is Tiger Tyagarajan, joining us right now from Genpact, CEO. Good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show, Maria.
As you look at the economy and what's been happening with jobs, how would you characterize things right now?
You know, I'll start by saying since we serve a large number of companies across the world, including in the U.S., 600 of them in the U.S., you know, we see steady as good. So we think the economy is steady, slow growth, low, but steady. You know, and I would call out two things. One, the demand for jobs in certain sectors off the charts, high technology, new technology. But the problem there is there's a decoupling between growth and jobs. I mean, they don't create that many jobs. High percentage growth, but smaller job creation. And the second is a skill gap. We think, I mean, we certainly believe there's a big skill gap in the U.S.
Yeah, when we speak with managers and CEOs at businesses, they always tell me that they can't actually fill the jobs that are available.
Absolutely
because
right.
they can't find the people with the skill set. So broadly speaking, then, you're expecting good numbers for the jobs report coming out. Where are the jobs? You said that there are some industries that are really hiring. Where would you say?
So I would start by saying anything that is new seems to be on demand. So new technology. I mean, you take the automotive sector. Interestingly, there's demand in the automotive sector, but not for the traditional jobs. It's for the people who understand new, you know, economic driving. It's for people who understand better electronics. For people who can connect the car to the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
And those people are not easy to find. It takes very, very long time to hire such people.
Go ahead, John.
Well, the U.S. is steady, and sure, it's a little dull.
Yeah.
It's about a point of GDP growth below what everybody would want, but 2% isn't so bad. But the rest of the world is not slow and steady. How long can, I mean, yes, the U.S. is the largest economy, but how long can you have this single engine pulling the global economy? You're already seeing some negative effect on this, on U.S. exports.
So, John, great question. And, you know, we all know post the global financial crisis and during the crisis, the world is completely coupled. Let's be very clear about it.
Absolutely.
And not only is it a problem across the world in terms of problems and lower growth, it's also volatile. I mean, you have situations where countries go through a great boom, and then a year later, it's down in the dumps.
China
is an example.
Yeah.
And China could have a significant impact on what it does to the global economy.
While we're on the subject of China, I've got to read this because this is amazing. China has spent so heavily to prop up stocks. There's an economist at Peking University. He's added up the bailout and the stimulus measures announced since the Chinese equity panic. He says China has spent $1.3 trillion, 10% of the GDP, just to prop up the stock market there.
It's not good.
It's unbelievable.
is a casino.
Yeah.
It's not a stock market in the traditional sense.
Yeah. And that kind of an economy with that kind of a structure allows them to do that, but it has to have a payback at some point.
Just one last thing, Tiger. Are we raising children who are going to be this world's next leaders in terms of technology?
No, not
at all.
It's
about education.
Because we say education. No. It's been going on for 40 some odd years that we didn't have enough math and science.
Maybe it's a huge problem, not at all. And I think there's only two or three potential solutions. You got to change the school system, much more science and engineering and math out here. The second is, I think the world is getting to a point where retraining is going to be part of life. With technology changes so rapidly, how can you get schooled for 20 years and do that and use that for 40 years? Those days are over.
Yeah, and that really connects the issue that you mentioned earlier, and that is the skills gap.
Yes.
Because our students are not prepared. Tiger, great to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much for joining us. Tiger Tyagarajan joining us there from Genpact. Don't miss our special coverage of the July jobs report coming up at 8.